Sam LaPorta is off the board to the Detroit Lions at the beginning of the second round. He is the second tight end off the board, and the third one just went as well. We'll have a video on him in a second, but now we're getting some of these tight ends we thought might go in the first round last night, going right here at the beginning of the second. So, again, we're starting to see this deep tight end class come into play. Sam LaPorta out of Iowa. I've got to look up his RAS while we're sitting here.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about Sam LaPorta and his fit with the Detroit Lions, who again have taken a tight end in the NFL draft.
I think
really
this
funny.
is really funny because they traded away Hawkinson after investing an early first-round pick. So then they go right after that when Hawkinson, I guess, didn't really work out for them. But how much did they really use him? And
Right.
They spent an early second on a tight end to replace him, who's going to take a few years to develop when they're really looking to honestly contend in the NFC right now. I personally don't really get the pick from an NFL perspective. From a fantasy perspective, I like it even less. I mean, I was about to take my hard L on TJ Hawkinson last year with his inconsistency and the fact that Amon-Ra was just taking all the targets away in the short to mid-range passing game. And honestly, the same thing's going to happen with LaPorta. LaPorta's no better than TJ Hawkinson. He went a full round later than Hawkinson did multiple years ago. And this is not good for his fantasy outlook. And that's going to impact his dynasty outlook long term. If you have someone that's really high on the Lions, have someone that's really high on Sam LaPorta because he kind of got pushed up draft boards higher than we really expected. I think you should jump on that opportunity in the future for sure.
Yeah, so looking at Sam LaPorta's RAS, obviously size-wise, he is a little bit smaller compared to some of these other tight ends in this class, compared to Michael Mayer, compared to Dalton Kincaid, Luke Musgrave. He's 6'3", 245, so the weight is pretty much there, but he is a little bit shorter than some of the other tight end prospects. So he's definitely one of the smaller ones in this class. However, when you're looking at his athleticism, again, his relative athletic score was 9.25. He graded out with elite speed with a 4.59 40-yard dash and a 1.62 10-yard split on the 40. So that is blazing fast.
Yeah,
for a tight end.
This is nothing against Sam LaPorta personally. I think he'll be a great asset for the Lions from an NFL perspective. However, I don't really understand why didn't they go for a guy like Darnell Washington to help them in the run game when they just went with Jahmyr Gibbs, who's not going to be a bruiser. You're going to need a solid offensive line behind him to really punch the ball down the field, and with David Montgomery too, who I would assume they're really going to punch the ball down the field with Montgomery specifically. But I'm just not really seeing the fit here.
Let's talk about.
I'm not going to be critical of the Detroit Lions. They know way more than we do. We're in our basement recording.
Oh no, there are people on Twitter that are saying they know more than the Detroit Lions GM.
Yeah, I'm not claiming to know more. I'm reacting to this move, and I'm trying to.
Who hurts from this,
Nathan?
To
understand this,
because you really think Amon-Ra and JMO and LaPorta and Gibbs are all going to.
Someone's got to take a hit.
Who's going to take a hit from this?
Jamison Williams.
It's got to be JMO, right?
I mean,
we're going to get crap for it, but guys, you tell us in the comments, which one are you?
They did not draft Will Levis. They did not draft Anthony Richardson, and they had the opportunity to do both of those.
Yep.
And if they wanted to go with one of those guys, they would have been pushing it downfield more. Yes, Goff is a very good NFL QB, but he is what he is, and he's a guy that you build around, and he can push the ball downfield here and there, but I wouldn't say they're planning to do that consistently with him. JMO is going to be a field stretcher where at any point in the game, Goff can sling it and get it to JMO at any point. He's not going to do it all the time. And with LaPorta, that's just another weapon in the middle of the field for Goff to target, and that's JMO. That screams, oh no, JMO. Like
there's. Yeah,
right.
Man. I think so. That's exactly what I was thinking. They didn't take Gibbs at 12th overall on the all not to give him the ball. And I see a lot of people on Twitter saying, "Okay, well,
screams dump
if
off
you think
after
they hate,
dump off.
If you think they hate Swift, wait till you see what they do with Gibbs." No, they didn't. They don't. They're gonna give Gibbs the ball. I'm confident. They can't. They would be so stupid not to. They just would. And honestly, they're not going to. And maybe it's LaPorta here. Maybe LaPorta's the one that kind of eases his way in from a production standpoint. You saw it with Hawkinson when he was there. Hawkinson never did really get in a groove with consistent production. So maybe LaPorta's just somebody that we're going to have to rank lower in this tight end class because of his landing spot. Yeah. And that honestly, we've seen it proven too much with TJ Hawkinson there. And obviously, the only big concern we have here is the size. But Michael Mayer obviously just went off the board, and he went on in our video on him. We're probably going to rank him above Sam LaPorta for sure.
Yeah, and while we're talking about it, honestly, I will say from from a real life perspective offensively for the Lions, I guess the pick for LaPorta does make sense over Michael Mayer because they wanted the speed. They wanted probably some after the catch ability. They're definitely seeming to, since they didn't go for a quarterback in the draft here, it definitely looks like they want to lean on those weapons that are going to get the ball in easy passes, short range passes from Jared Goff, and they're going to run with it after and make a lot of things happen.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. All right. From a points per game perspective and from a ranking perspective, obviously we're not ranking him in the top 12 dynasty tight ends just yet.
no.
Probably just outside because the tight end is just not deep
I
at all
mean,
right now.
I guess top 12,
It's not that
that wouldn't
much.
even be that
But
generous if
but
we put him top
again,
12
we're
because it's
not.
so
Sam Laporta is not a
scarce.
guy we're spending a first round pick on in Dynasty, and he's probably
No.
not even going early second for us. There are going to be guys
Yeah.
that go in the second and third tonight. We're going to prefer over him,
Yep.
so we're just going to tamper our expectations with him. But a very interesting pick by the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
All right, make sure you like and subscribe. We're going to have more videos coming out tonight and all off season. We're about to do the Michael Mayer video, so stay tuned for that one. As always, appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you here in a minute.